Does anybody else feel like spring and summer this year have just gone so fast? I feel like we've not even had a summer this year. The sun has come out now, but I was literally just sat here with this hat on for like half an hour because it is so cold in my house and it's still August. Well, I don't even know what date it is today. I think it's like the 27th of August, so it should still be hot, right? But it is freezing. Anyway, I was just about to start filming and someone started drilling outside. I bet it's my mum, you know. Oh, no, it's not. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's next door. Don't they know I'm trying to film a YouTube video? That's selfish. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk all things mental health. I know a lot of you guys who watch my content, you suffer from depression, anxiety, a whole range of mental health issues, and I am by no means qualified to give advice, so please just take everything I am going to say with a pinch of salt. But today I just wanted to share with you my experiences with mental health mental oh my god, I always struggle to speak when I'm talking directly to a camera. It's kind of different when I'm doing a live stream because I have loads of you actively watching, but when I am just sat talking to a camera in my room, it's really hard. I always mess up my words. I'm going to try my best to give you some advice on how I deal with my own mental health problems. I have suffered with extreme anxiety problems for quite a long time, and I'm pretty sure I have depression too. I'm not diagnosed with anything, but you can kind of just tell in yourself sometimes. But yeah, the last year and a half, probably longer than that, the last couple of years of my life has been incredibly hard, and I just wanted to share with you guys how I have dealt with some of those emotions. And maybe you can get something from this video, I don't know. Everybody's unique and everybody is going to have different ways of dealing with things mentally and healthily. This is just my experience. This is just how I have coped. I'm not coping. I don't know why I just said how I've coped. So my anxiety issues started really early on. I was a very anxious child. I don't think I recognised these as anxiety issues when I was so young, but I remember that I would get quite a lot of intrusive thoughts when I was like 10, and I would come home really upset from school and I would say to my mum stuff like, oh, I was in school, I would be in hysterics, and I would say to my mum, I was at school today and I had a thought about pushing Gemma over. Does that mean that I want to do it? Does that mean that I want to hurt her? And obviously I didn't want to hurt people, but I was having such guilt from having these intrusive thoughts as a kid that I would get myself so wound up thinking that just because I thought these things, I wanted to do them. Obviously that was not the case. And I remember on another occasion, I was at a friend's house when I was probably, around like 10 or 11. And I was in her bedroom and I saw that she had a 50p coin lying on her dressing room table. She went out the room to go to the bathroom, and I thought this is making me sound insane already. I thought in my head, shall I steal that 50p coin? And then I thought, no, don't do that. That's wrong. But the fact that I had that thought got me so wound up, and I convinced myself that I was a bad person for thinking about stealing this 50p coin, that I called my mom and I got her to pick me up. And I just remember crying in the car and be like, oh, I'm a thief, I'm a terrible person, I haven't stolen this 50p, but I've thought about stealing this 50p. And I think my mum was just like, she didn't say it, but she must have just been thinking, what is wrong with you? You are mental. I can't think of anywhere where this has stemmed from because I had a really nice childhood. There is no abuse or trauma that I know of that was in my childhood. I know that we have anxiety problems genetically on both sides of the family, so that probably explains quite a lot. But yeah, I was just really anxious. I used to have these anxiety fits and panic attacks all through my childhood. And until I got to about age 17 or 18, I didn't start to recognise them as anxiety. And I have carried that anxious guilt through to my friendships and relationships as well. If I have ever been in a relationship with somebody in my adult life, I will feel the most intense guilt about the most tiny things. Like, for example, if I am in a committed relationship with somebody and I found someone else attractive, like didn't do anything about it, but if I just thought like I find someone else attractive, I would feel so guilty about that and stew on it for so long that I would just get myself into hysterics, and I'd say to my partner like, oh, I feel like I've cheated, even though I hadn't. And when I was about 18, I actually got into a relationship with somebody who was they were into their substances, and I had never really experimented in that world before, and I started to experiment in that world when I was with them. It was kind of peer pressure-y. I would never do it again, but that really affected me mentally, and my anxiety got so much worse after that. I think for the next couple of years after that relationship ended, yeah, I developed not only general anxiety, but I developed health anxiety as well. And it got to a point where I was at university and I literally would not leave my flat because I was so frightened of the outside world and coming into contact with like a disease or chemicals or viruses that would make me ill and kill me. And I was the only place I would go when I left my uni flat was literally to walk myself up to A&E, to go and sit in A&E for 8 hours, tell the doctor or the nurse that I thought I was going to die of a heart condition, or I thought I had appendicitis, and they would run all these scans on me and they would say to me, you're fine, like please stop coming in, you're fine. I remember once a doctor gave me my ECG chart when they'd done like a heart scan on me, and they were like, look, take this ECG scan home, and every time you feel anxious and like coming back to A&E thinking there's something wrong with your heart, look at the scan and just remind yourself that we have done extensive tests on you and you are fine, you are healthy. I just looked in my viewfinder and my extensions are a mess. They don't even blend in with my actual hair. So let me just sort that out one sec. In fact, I might just put the hat back on, not gonna lie. It's this lighting, man. Ah, fuck it, I can't be asked sorting it out. The hat's going back on. It's really cold in here anyway. That looks so much better. We're hiding the unblended roots, kind of. You can still see them a little bit. I need to stop pointing these things out because people don't even notice it until I start getting all self-deprecating and complaining about it. Anyway, so where were we up to? Yeah, so when I was at absolute peak anxiety and whatever else, I'm pretty sure, I never got diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure that I had like full-fledged OCD. And then COVID happened, and that was the absolute worst possible thing that could have come about at this time, because like I said, I was so terrified. Like, I can't even tell you how scared I was of getting a disease. If I thought I had come into contact with okay, no, this is a good example. Once I shaved my legs at uni with a slightly rusty razor. It wasn't even bad, it just had like a tiny little patch of rust on it, and I nicked my leg, like I cut my leg. And for the next 24 hours at least, while I was awake, I was in hysterics thinking that I had, what is the disease that comes with rust? Is it like tetanus? Is it tetanus or TB? One of them. I thought I'd got this disease that comes from rust getting in your bloodstream or something. And I was just in hysterics for like at least 24 hours. I was on the phone to my mum, my dad, going, I'm gonna die. And they were like, oh my God, my daughter's insane. And yeah, then COVID happened, and I think I just came home from uni. I was still paying rent at my uni house, but I was so frightened of being in contact with people. I just came home and just totally isolated myself. And it was then I decided, I need to beat this. This is no life for myself. I need to make an effort to get better and not be frightened of going outside, because it was just going downhill and I was just spiraling further and further. So I started doing some research online. I did a lot of reading on Reddit about therapy methods, how to cope with anxiety and OCD, health anxiety specifically. And I read about this method called flooding. And from what I recall, flooding is literally just exposing yourself to the the thing that makes you frightened, exposing yourself to the phobia, I guess, until you are no longer scared of it. And when I read that, I would never have imagined that I would be able to do that, because even touching, like, so my real phobia that came with health anxiety was the fear of having an allergic reaction to something. So if I touched like a chemical, like if I touched a little bit of bleach or surface cleaner, I would think that I was going to go into anaphylaxis. And the idea of willingly putting chemicals on my skin or anything that was going to harm me to try and get over the phobia, it was just unimaginable. I know a lot of people suffer I know a lot of people suffer with emetophobia, and if you have that, I guess you can kind of relate, because it's like somebody asking you to touch sick if you're frightened of sick. So yeah, but I found the strength within me to start trying the flooding method. And I used to go downstairs when I was living at home in COVID isolation. I used to go downstairs and I would get a little bit of like window cleaner, surface cleaner, whatever, household chemicals, and I would put them, this is not me telling you to do this, by the way, this is just what I did. I would put them in very small amounts on my skin, and I would sit there and just allow myself to be anxious and frightened and in hysterics, and just sit there with this chemical on my arm until it had been on there long enough and I had been okay long enough to know that I was not going to die from it. It was not great. It was not great at all, but it worked. It really did work. And the more that I did this, and the more that I did this, the more stuff I would try and the longer I would leave it on. And gradually, honestly, like, that is what made me better doing flooding. And I think that probably applies to a lot of things as well, not just health anxiety. If you suffer from social anxiety, again, this is just in my experience, it might not work for everybody, but you easing yourself into it and finding the strength to face up to the thing that you are the most frightened of, in my opinion, is the only way to get past it. If you have social anxiety, you could try leaving the house for... social anxiety is probably the wrong word. If you have a fear of going outside and leaving the house, you could try going outside for 5 minutes, maybe even just a minute, and then push it up to 5 minutes the next week, and then 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then 20, and just ease yourself into it gradually. And don't try and force yourself to feel any kind of way. Like, be okay with it. It is okay to feel frightened and to feel upset. So if you go outside for that 5 minutes and you are in hysterics the whole time, it doesn't matter, it's progress. At least you have gone outside, do you know what I mean? Another thing that massively helped me when I was struggling with this was exercise. I got really fat at uni. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I was mentally unwell, I was not leaving my flat, I was getting zero exercise, and I was just ordering takeaways in instead of going to the shop, so I got really fat. And I feel that the more physically unhealthy you are, it really massively contributes to your mental health as well. Even if you just go on a short walk every single day, I promise you, it will make you feel a million times better. I don't think anyone has ever regretted going on a walk or getting exercise. So if you're feeling like this today, go and walk around your block. Go and do a 10-minute walk around your block, and trust me, it will make a world of difference. So once I overcame my health anxiety, general anxiety, whatever, that isn't a problem for me so much anymore now. But once I overcame that and I got on with my life, I was introduced to good old depression. And that is something that I still struggle with now. I've not been very productive, not felt very happy this week. And it happens every single time I come home and I'm not busy. I will just cave myself up in my room, not get any work done. I have no motivation to go out and busk or work, because I think, oh, I'm at home, I don't have to pay any rent, I don't have any responsibilities, I can just lie in if I want to. But then it really puts me in this slow growing mental prison that is beyond difficult to leave once you're in it. I find personally that when I am feeling depressed and unmotivated, the best thing that I can do for myself is to get in the shower. that is the first step. And if you feel fresh and clean and you get rid of all that like sleepiness and grogginess, that is the first step to having a productive day. Something that I like to do is I'll have a hot shower for like 5 minutes or whatever, and then, as unpleasant as it is, I will give myself like a 1 minute blast of cold water. And apparently if you have a cold shower, it releases like happy hormones in your brain. I don't know why, I can't remember, I did some reading on this a while ago, but yeah, so I often will have a hot shower followed by a very short cold shower, and I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but I find that it makes me feel a lot mentally clearer and happier. Once I've had my shower, I will then do my best to make myself feel human. I will make sure I brush my teeth, I will get a glass of water, I will make myself a to-do list and tick off all of these basic hygiene needs for the day. Make my bed, wash my bedding if it needs to be washed, even just opening a window. Light yourself a candle. That always makes for a peaceful environment. Some incense or a candle or something. Put on some nice, chill, lo-fi beats or some background music. I'll sometimes put on a YouTube video of a crackling fire. And this is a real important one. Get yourself in the mindset that it is never too late in the day to do something productive. I'm filming this video at, I think it's about 6 p.m. in the evening. I have done nothing with the rest of my day. I got like dressed, did a full face of makeup this morning, put my hair extensions in, did all of that stuff I just mentioned just to sit around the house and do nothing. But I am telling you now, I feel 1,000 times better for getting dressed and doing all of them things than if I had just rolled out of bed and slobbed around in my pajamas all day. Even though I've slobbed around with a full face of makeup on, I still feel like I've had a much more productive day than I would have had I not done that. And then that sets the standard for the rest of the week then, and you can just make small little steps towards being more productive every day. I find that a lot of coping and dealing with mental health is about forcing yourself to do things. And no matter how you feel, if you just force yourself to do something, like write 1 page of an essay, like anything that you need to do, write 1 page of an essay, have a shower, go to the corner shop, you then get such a surge of motivation from that one small little step and just doing that one thing that you then feel like you want to complete all the other things, you feel more productive. And I guess that the reason I have decided to make this video today is I deal with my mental health so much better now. I've had 18, 19, 20, 21, oh hang on, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I have had, wow, like at least 8 years to harness this. And I'm definitely not cured. Like I still do suffer from these things, but I am a hell of a lot better than I was. Past me would be so proud of me right now. But yeah, my point was, I have not suffered from severe anxiety issues in a few years, but last night, and I think it's because I've been at home for so long, and I've been in the same 4 white walls, there was a fly in my room, right, like a daddy long legs, and I hate them. I hate daddy long legs with a passion, and I did not want to go near this thing, so I grabbed a bottle of deodorant from my bathroom, and it sounds so cruel, but just believe me, it had to be done. I was spraying this fly in the corner of my room with a bottle of deodorant, and I'm looking up spraying this deodorant, and I didn't realise that all of the deodorant was falling down on my face, and I was breathing it in, and I started coughing, and I could taste all of this deodorant in my mouth. And then I started to panic, and I thought, oh my God, I've just ingested loads of chemicals. I'm gonna die. And my mind just went straight back to that anxious place it was in 3 or 4 years ago, whatever. And I just broke down. I was in hysterics. I was going to my mum, I'm gonna die, I've just ingested deodorant. And she was like, oh my God, what do I do? She had no idea how to deal with this situation. I think she was just mad that I'd been spraying deodorant all around the room, to be fair. But yeah, it was not nice. I've not felt that way and had a panic attack like that in years. So I went to my bathroom sink and I just put my hands down and just focus on my breathing. I was like, you're gonna be fine. People spray deodorant, millions of people spray deodorant everywhere, every day. And I'm sure deodorant poisoning is rare as hell. So of course I then Googled it, which didn't help because it just started telling me about aerosol and solvent deaths in the UK. That just got me more wound up. And I sat there last night from about 10 p.m. till 2 in the morning, just panicking and thinking about if I was not going to wake up from inhaling this deodorant. I know it sounds crazy. It is crazy, but when you justify it in your own head, it makes sense. But luckily, I was able to bring myself down from that situation a lot quicker than I would have been able to in the past. And I woke up this morning, I was fine, obviously. And I just thought, you know what? It's about time that I spoke about this to you guys, because the worst thing ever would be for any of you guys to be going through something similar and feel like you're alone in it. I for sure felt like I was alone in it when I was at university. I had a great group of friends, but they just didn't understand because they hadn't been through it. With niche anxieties like that, I think it's a struggle to find advice online or in person and people who can relate and understand. My Instagram inbox does get really busy and full of spam and crap, so I might not reply straight away, but feel free to just have a vent in there. I will reply as soon as I can or as soon as I see it. But if I don't, you can just come back and watch this video and know that you'll be fine. You are fine. And anything that you're feeling right now, especially, I mean, all ages, but especially if you're in your teens or early, mid, late 20s, apparently this is the most difficult time for mental health issues. It will get better. It got better for me and it just keeps getting better from here. So just be strong, keep plodding on and try and get out the house as much as possible. That is my ultimate advice. Try and get out of the house and stay busy as much as possible. And that's the absolute best thing you can do for yourself and your mental health. I hope this video has at least helped one of you feel a little bit better. And I'm sure I will make more on the topic in the future. But for now, go on a 5-minute walk and you won't regret it, I swear. I'll see you all next time. Love ya.